Right, we're here and there's already 3 people here. Lovely. Wonderful. Right, I'm just going to get this, try and get this angle a bit better. Allotment Lucy is here.
And I'm still happening.
Yeah, that's great. Allotment Lucy's here and I love that she's got emojis next to her name. What is that, a flower, a sun and?
Sunflower.
A sunflower.
A normal flower, and then that just means I'm moderator.
Oh, okay. It looked like a spanner.
It is.
Oh, okay. I thought also you're a handy woman. No. Anyway, so there's only 3 of you here, so we'll just wait a little bit before the others join us, just in case. It might just be 3 of you, but I imagine there'll be more, hopefully, so we'll just wait. And if you're watching this after the live, we are here to do the arrange along, and I think I completely forgot to put links in the description box last week, but I will this week, so I'm sorry, it's just been a very busy week. So these flowers that I'll be arranging are the flowers that I posted out. We'll just see. Oh, we've got 10 people now. Let's see who's here. Oh, hi Judy. Hello. I really can't read. I'm deleting. Hello in Austin, Texas. Oh, hello there. Hi Susie. So, right, let's get started. Put my wine away. It's been a long week, so I treated myself to some wine this evening. Now, as always, Poppy is trying to mount a table and eat any leftover food. Jasmine is in that room and hopefully going to be entertained, but who knows? And yeah, so we'll just go with it. So before I started, I just wanted to show you last week's flowers that we arranged together. Now, I have been naughty and not followed my own advice. I haven't changed the water every day. But look how they've lasted, and they've sort of faded in a really beautiful way, which I really love, and I think you often get that with wildflowers, or not wildflowers, but sort of very sort of country flowers. Oh, hi Helen. And yeah, they just look really pretty. And what I had hoped to do is to bring some bud vases and show you what I do when an arrangement starts to look tired, but there's still some good bits in there. But I forgot. And all my bud vases are on the field, so never mind. But what I do want to say is that it might be too late, but it might also be worth trying to dry things. Now, not everything is going to dry well.
Might be confetti.
Might be confetti. It might dry. It might have already got to dry itself. But I think what's really good is to just experiment with drying. So, and you'll thank me in the winter when we're talking about wreaths and you've got extra little bits and bobs. But this, for example, which is the cress, that dries well. And I know that Wolves Lane, which is another flower farm in London, they dry cornflowers. So it can't hurt for you just to hang a few things upside down, see if they dry and they kind of hold. Definitely not the snapdragons, I can tell you that, and not the Lavaterra. But the Achillea would dry, that's this one. But it might be past its best if it started to go that. I don't know, it might still dry and it looks quite pretty. But you can see when we do wreaths and various things like that, we use little dried kind of posies and it looks quite pretty. So, evening, hello. Hello, Catherine, thank you for joining us. Right, okay, so that's last week's flowers. And they weren't in direct sunlight, but they definitely did not get the water changed as regularly as they should have. So I haven't had a chance this week to do anything in advance. So I have literally just got my flowers, cut the stems off, washed them, and then left them here. I just realised you can see, this is awful, you can see our pizza takeaway and squash. Not very Instagram, is it? I can't bear that. Guess what we had for dinner? Let's move that out of the way. It's funny, when I set it all up with the backdrop, I cleared it, but now it's given us a wider angle. That's better. That's a bit better. Anyway, so I also wanted to say that I completely forgot yesterday. What I do with my arrangement is I leave it. Oh, do you mind letting Coco in? He goes out in the rain. I leave it in a box. I package it up in exactly the same way. I just don't pay the postage. Because that's a waste of money. I did the first week, but I didn't this last week. And then I have the flowers in the same condition as you. So you will have noticed that I wrapped the snapdragons in a separate sort of paper, and that has made them straighter. I hope you'll all agree. So I'm just going to put the snapdragons over here, and also the this is called larkspur. It's part of the delphinium family. So we had larkspur last week. It was a lighter colour, the one that I was just talking about drying. So I forgot yesterday to just start to take off all your dead bits of leaves. That's the Amy. I forgot yesterday to bring mine home, so I got it this morning. So these flowers lasted, they're not as good as they should have been, but they lasted almost 48 hours in that gel, which was a good test, but it's a bit annoying because it means that, you know, some of them, I think the only one that I'm a bit like, is my Bells of Ireland. But I'd be interested to know whose Bells of Ireland, though the two things that I was worried about sending were the Bells of Ireland and the Feverfew. So this is the Bells of Ireland, and the Feverfew is the little daisy looking one. Can anyone let me know how yours fared as we're sort of conditioning our flowers? Lavatera, so we're just going to take these off. I'm going to cut them. Jazzy?
I actually like to leave them on and just pull the petals off.
No, I know you do. You gave me that great tip today, and I was going to suggest that higher up. But so I like a clear stem. But if you have found that any of your flowers are bruised, I'll show you if I just pull one off. So that, for example, that's a little bit, no problems. Oh, that's good to know. Pull it out, and it's not an ugly seed pod. What is it? It's not really yet the seed pod, but it's not ugly at all. So I think you can leave that like that. Okay. So I should say what we're using. This is Dorcas from the carrot family. This is a sunflower. Now this looks a little bit bruised, but like I said, mine did last 48 hours in gel. Just a second, Jazzy's stuck in here and talking. Jazzy, can you try not to talk to yourself, darling, just for this time? Try not to talk to yourself. She's probably playing schools. Then this we had also last week, which is Verbena boniaris, I never know how to pronounce that, and Lavatera. So then we've also got some clary sage, and you'll see that the tip of the flower is purple, but you might find a little bit of browning on the leaves, so I've just stripped off any like that. We've got some more of the verbena. This is Feverfew. I'm so pleased that's done well. Let's strip those leaves again and just lay everything out. So you can't quite see, but just lay everything out in a line so you know what you're dealing with. We've got some Selene here, Selene. We don't know. Sure. We're not sure how we pronounce it.
Just say it with confidence.
Yes. If it's a Latin name,
I just say it with confidence.
Just say it with confidence. It doesn't really matter. A bit more clary sage I've got there. Obviously, everyone's will slightly differ, but on the whole, you should have the main elements. I've got some orange achillea. You might just have pink. You might have pink and red. There we go. So I'm just going to strip those leaves off as well. Got a little bit of Amy there. Let's take that off. Lovely. And then we've got the cress. So there is a little bit of browning of the leaves, but not too bad. So you could just take those bits off, and we might end up cutting that down. So let's take those bits off as well. And I've got two little bits of extra there. They're all very tangled. Now, if everybody else's Bells of Ireland did survive, I hope you won't think I'm cheating by going and getting a piece that is looking better than this, because if yours doesn't look like this, then I feel like mine shouldn't. Okay, so I'm just going to go and grab another piece of that. Jasmine, it won't be that long, and then you can eat them. literally in the rain. It's absolutely chucking it down. It's chucking it down with rain. And Jasmine and I came back from London and I have to pick for various things tomorrow. And I was going to go do it after this, but the rain probably wouldn't have stopped. And I was so tired, I thought I just want to get it done. And so we went and got absolutely drenched. Both of us just soaking through. So what I'm doing here is I'm just picking off the leaves of the Bells of Ireland. If you want to keep them on, you're more than, you know, you can do that. But traditionally, you take them off and you leave the green flowers, essentially, so like that. Okay? And then if you've got any bits that are discoloured or you're not really happy about, just take those off. Right, so I think now, just make sure you've got all your little bits of leaves off your snapdragons, off those. Okay?
Oh,
Shh, darling. Okay. And then I didn't take the leaves off that one either. Right, next thing, vase. Now, again, I've got a little short vase. I think I talked about this last week, but I think that in the size of arrangement that we're going to do, short vases are better with slightly narrower. And this I got from Dunelm this week. I thought it would be really nice to show you it. It was about £15 and they have them in different colours. So if you are near, if you want to go, they've got lots of them. They hopefully will still have them in stock. But they're it's a really lovely vase because it's got a nice open neck. But it's quite short, so it's not going to be too overpowering. So I'm going to change my water in there. Okay. And we will be cutting the stems off as we're putting them in. Right. I'm going to start with the Lavaterra again. I don't know if I did that last week, but I find that this is quite a good one to start with. Now, I might just take a little bit of height off that, but I'm just going to let that go in like that. Next, what am I going to do? I think I'm going to go in with the snaps because they are quite dominant in colour and also in shape. So I'm going to put those in. I might leave one out. Then I think I'm going to go with the Dorcas. Now this I'm hoping will flatten out a little bit. It has shriveled a bit because it was left in there a little bit too long. So I've got one there, but I think I'm going to make that shorter and then I'm going to make this one higher, longer. Okay. Then I've got the Ami. Okay, so Ami. This Ami is starting to, it's interesting, like when you cut Ami, the way that it grows and its growth habit is it will have two stems usually, typically. This will have been cut off a much longer stem. And so the flower isn't going to give every single, the plant isn't going to keep everything at the same stage. So you're going to find that on the stem you'll have one flower further ahead than another. So typically you can get 3 stages in the Ami. You can get the just as it's coming out and it's green, then as it's starting to bloom, and then as it's starting to fade. But I find all of the stages beautiful. So just leave her, Lucy, it's fine, I think. Just it's chaos. It's chaos in here. Poppy's just jumped up on the table.
I love all the seed pods on the Ami.
Yeah, yeah,
I like
that's
to use
beautiful.
it like that more.
Yeah, and what I love about Ami is I love it sort of sticking out above the arrangement. This piece, I want it to sort of stick out above. We might find that it's not going to hold it, but that position, we can reassess it, can't we? So we've gone in with those elements. I think next we should use the feverfew, because the feverfew is going to create quite a bit of shape in there. And because that's a little bit like an umbellifer, so an umbellifer flower is like an Ami or a Dorcas, and it's sort of a bit more of a bigger flat area, and almost the posy of those create that shape. So I think when they look nice in my vase it looks nicer if they're sort of lower down and covering the stems, almost. But that's, you know, depending on, you know, you might not want that in with your vase, you might have a narrower neck, but I just think that this sticking up super, super high is just going to look very stemmy and not in a particularly elegant way. Whereas this sticking up high, that stem is very elegant, so it works really nicely on its own. Okay, there we go. And then Mr. Bells of Ireland, I'm going to put him in. Yeah, he's a little, I'm liking this asymmetry. We've got kind of it going off. You may have noticed that's what I often do because I did that last week. And then in with my sunflower, I'm going to pop him in. I love how I'm calling all of them boys, him, but anyway, I'm going to pop him in there. What have we got left? So I've still got a snapdragon. I think I'm going to put that in at the end. I've got some achillea as well. So my achillea, again, I don't think it's a particularly attractive stem. You may disagree, but because of that, I prefer it then sort of a little bit shorter, so it's not. But we have got quite a lot of short things there. That stem's not too bad, is it? It's quite pretty. So maybe with this one, I'll allow that to be a little bit higher. Okay, then the Silene, very, very pretty. I would keep that length on those stems, let that come out and be wispy and airy, give it a little bit more interest. Same with the Verbena Boniaris. Again, say it with confidence. Oh look, that's really good. The achillea is acting as a little Annie holder. Very good. So I'm going to kind of, based on the shapes that I'm getting, so I've got sort of a little bit going off that way, I'm going to work with that and I'm going to put my Verbena in that direction. This one I'm going to cut down and just have that there. I think I had another one. I think I gave you 3 or 4 depending. So you should have a few of those, and I would recommend making them different heights from each other. So they often say that odds are better in arranging, and I'd say that's in styling as well. So going back to sort of interior styling, you know, odds always look better than evens. I've forgotten about this. Oh, he's lovely. He's got to go in. I think he might look nice standing to attention. Just really making a bit more of a, you know, standing out. Little bit of clary sage, just filling in with that. And then I've still got this, I'm going to put that in at the end, I think. And I'm now just going to work with the cress. And I'm going to just put that in, filling in little spaces. Remember to walk around your arrangement if it's going to be going in on the middle of a table or somewhere like that. You know, some people, well, when I did a floristry course, we were given, are they Lazy Susans?
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to get one. Actually, certainly for this, yeah, I need to get one.
I've got the ceramics one that I use.
Ah, perfect. Yeah, so a Lazy Susan is like, you know, the spinning things. Jasmine.
Yeah, you get them for cake decorating.
Oh, okay. One day I'll have help with childcare when I'm doing this. But so far, James has been working. And, yeah, Jazzy's been here. Okay. You're watching now, Dan. Just watch quietly. Okay, there we go. I don't want it to look too like maybe that one I need to make it a little bit smaller. But there is something super pretty and softening about these little wispy bits. I've also got
like little sparkle.
Yeah, they do add the sparkle. I can't wait till the sparkling fountain, which is a really pretty grass that's starting to kind of come soon. Okay, so that's that. Let's just turn it around. Now, immediately, the thing that I'm seeing, and I know it's really hard for you to see, but that is a similar shape to that sunflower. So I feel like that's a bit of a clash of shapes, a sort of disc shape. So I'm going to move this to a different position. And I'm going to instead put my snapdragon where that was. So I've got a spike, and I've made sure that that spike is not dominating, sorry. I've made sure that that spike is not dominating and hiding this. Yeah, so we've sort of like got it there. Right, now I had some feedback from my dad who watched this, and he said, I've thought it was great, darling. The only thing I'd suggest is we need to see the flower arrangement on a plain screen, like with a less busy background. So I don't know what I'm gonna, oh, I've got a flower box there. I wonder if that would work. But
I have backgrounds.
Yeah.
You should have told me.
I know, I'm gonna order backgrounds. So we're gonna have to create something. It's all right, I've got a flower box, improvisation. It's very Blue Peter, this.
You don't have what you made earlier.
I don't have, no, that's not that Blue Peter then, is it? Is this looking absolutely ridiculous? Or is it
I
helping?
can't tell yet. We're a few seconds behind.
Okay, how does that look, everybody? Can you kind of get more of an idea of it?
Someone says very Yorkshire to your dad's opinion.
Very Yorkshire. So I'm just turning it around there. I'm really pleased with it. I think it looks beautiful. I love that we've got different heights. If you wanted to make more of a feature of the Ami, you could make everything else a little bit shorter and really keep the length on it as well, and so that it really stands out as a little bit higher. And you can make these a little bit shorter. That's an option, but I think that that really works with all the wonderful wiggly shapes that you get with these British flowers, and that's going to age beautifully as well. Okay, so there we go. That is it for this week. I hope you found that interesting and fun, and you enjoyed arranging, those of you that have my flowers, and those of you that don't, I hope it was inspiring. Go out and have a go at what you can find out in the wild. There's lots now. I shouldn't really encourage people to pick wildflowers because we're not meant to do that, but if you've got a neighbour's garden who is happy for you to have a little pick of what they've got if you don't have one, and you'll be surprised what things last in a vase better than others. So keep that water changed, lots of lovely fresh water as much as you can. This week I'm going to keep it in a different place. So last week my arrangement was in my bedroom. It's not got as much direct sunlight. This week I might keep it in here in the kitchen, and there's definitely more sunlight because I've got a couple of Velux windows and also the big French doors. So, and we'll see how well that lasts. But it hasn't got direct sunlight, it's just got a little bit more light. Anyway, I'm waffling. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you for to allotment Lucy. Phone, yeah, share. There we go. Right. Allotment Lucy's showing me her phone. Oh, that's a nice iPhone, Lucy. Lovely. I knew you were trying to say something like that. Yes, we've started a hashtag, haven't we? We've got to continue with the hashtag. Hashtag Jazzy Rose Flowers. So if you can share your photos. Last week you all shared them with me and also Tanya. It was just so heartwarming to see them. They all looked so beautiful. It was just really, really lovely. So hashtag Jazzy Rose Flowers. That's obviously for Instagram. Feel free to also put them on Facebook, but we don't really use hashtags on Facebook. But you'll find us on Facebook as well. And that's it. Oh, I hope you all have a lovely weekend too. I'm going to try this week to put the product up a little bit earlier. So if you're on the mailing list, you'll find out always before. But I'm going to add it a little bit earlier this week, so you've got a bit more time, because I feel like I add the product on a Monday and you've got to order by Tuesday evening. So I'm hoping to get it up Saturday or Sunday if you wanted to order for next week. Also, subscriptions, I should say. The wonderful Simon, who does my site, he's working on something right now that we can use so that you'll be able to subscribe, and I'm going to have the option to subscribe to these monthly, fortnightly or weekly. So bear with me. Gift bouquets I didn't get round to either, but that is also on the list. Anyway, lots of things. Make sure you follow on Instagram because you find out a lot more on there. So you can find out first what's happening. Right, I'm really, really waffling. I need to go and attend to the dog and the child and the cat. Have a lovely weekend. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next week. Bye.